We are back on my restaurant because today we're going to be testing out live in this video something that might be extremely OP and help you guys out with the final 25,000 huge cats that are left. Let's not waste any more time and get right into the video. If you guys are new here in the channel, this is the very first video that you're watching of mine. For the last couple of days, we have basically been trying to get our hands on the chef cat. Now, obviously, I went ahead and uploaded the world first video. I already got my hands on it on my main account, which was really fun. I managed to pretty much get it done in about 10 hours, but I do have a lot of game passes as well as crazy amounts of furniture on that account because I've been playing for a very long time. This is my alt account and I am currently 4,000 customers away from being able to get my second chef cat. The thing with this account, it is 100% free to play. I have no game passes on here and I have zero boost running. At no point have I ever purchased any. The only thing that I have that is somewhat of a disadvantage is the fact that I do have 2 royal chairs as well as 1 royal table, which I currently have down right here because I was in the middle of testing something. But in all honesty, I've only used it for about a solid 5 or 10 minutes. The rest of the time, my restaurant has been completely closed, so it hasn't really affected me too much. Either way, let's talk about the important stuff and what we're going to be doing in today's video. As you guys know, for the most part, I have been using this intermediate layout, which has absolutely no other furniture on any of my other floors for pretty much the entire period that I've been going after it on this account. And over the last couple of days, a lot of you have been asking me if there is any chairs or tables that are like kind of worth upgrading once you reach a certain point. And I'm gonna be honest, Redacted, Ark, as well as myself tested buying a bunch of gingerbread tables and chairs on our main accounts, and we saw no significant increase in customer flow. On top of that, you were spending a crazy amount of money in order to even be able to fill up your restaurant with all of this. So at the end of the day, it just wasn't worth it. There was far more important things like appliances as well as buying floors that were more important to purchase at the time. Now, according to the information that I am being told right now, there is an item that is currently on the screen right now which you can purchase for in-game money. It's not cheap. It's definitely not cheap, and you're gonna at least have to have maybe a mil if you want to get even the slightest bit of a benefit out of this. If you haven't guessed it, I'm talking about the winter bell. Yes, this is more expensive than having gingerbread tables and chairs, but unlike those, this guarantees that the elves will be coming in. The problem with this is that the winter bell has a 5-hour cooldown. If I was to go ahead and buy 7 of these, it would be give or take about 800, 900K. I'm currently sitting at almost 6 mil, so I can probably buy a good amount of these and really test to see if this is actually going to be worth it. But the issue is, will my staff and will my appliances actually keep up with the demand? I honestly have no idea, but we're going to find out right now because I'm going to kind of make a couple of adjustments. And if you guys want to follow along with me, you can. For starters, the first floor is going to stay the exact same as how I have it right now. I'm going to sort of make a hybrid mixed with the intermediate layout and the redacted layout. It's going to be a little odd, but I think we'll make it work. So to start things off, I'm picking up these because, again, I do not want to do any tests with these because we need to do this full 100% free to play. All right, so here's the plan. For floor number 1, we're going to be picking up the entire kitchen. We're going to be taking this to floor number 2. So to make up for that, we're going to go ahead and add in an extra table, and that's basically going to leave us with this gap right here in the center. I'm going to go ahead and leave that gap so that way the staff have somewhere to kind of go ahead and stack up, very similar to how they're doing right here. I know there's some off to the side. That's a lot to do with the fact that the restaurant is closed right now. In floor number 2, we're going to basically do something similar to the redacted one, except that obviously as a free-to-play player and as someone that's only level 70 with 5 mil, it's not exactly something that we can afford. So for that reason, we're going to kind of improvise here. The type of dishwashers that we add isn't a big deal. You can go ahead and use some of your old ones as well. Just again, make sure that you are facing them towards this center pocket right here. I'm even going to throw in some of these starter ones, which are the cheap ones, just so we have somewhere where the dishes can sit in case, you know, the 3 luxury that we have are not enough. I actually had all of those facing the wrong way, so I went ahead and fixed that. Now we're gonna do basically our order stands. Really, we don't need more than one. I'm gonna place down two because I have to. Technically, you would put more than one if you had the golden order stand because it helps with being able to get the golden food. But technically, the regular ones, there's no reason to add more than one. Now we're gonna handle the stoves. Now, these, unfortunately, you cannot cheap out on. So for that reason, I'm gonna need to buy an extra 4 of these. I know it's gonna suck because I technically am gonna spend like 800,000 right now, but it is what it is. It has to be done, at least so I can properly get this testing done. So there we go. At the end of it all, it should be looking something similar to this. Now we go ahead and add in all of our filler items. Thankfully, I have a lot of these cactuses, so by the end, it should look a little something like this. Now we're gonna move on to the remaining floors. In floor number 3, we're going to be doing again something very similar to Redacted, except that obviously we're going to make some minor adjustments so that way it is affordable. And this is basically what I have come up with. So in total, we are going to have 7 tables down. For the most part, this is very, very simple. You go ahead and place 3 up top, chairs at the top, chairs at the bottom, 2 on the side, chairs on the left, chairs on the right. Very simple, the exact same as Redacted. The only one that's different is these 2 tables over here. And I feel like I need to explain these because some of you are going to be very confused. So for that reason, let me go ahead and pick up all the chairs and I'll explain. As you guys know, you need to have 4 chairs on one of these long tables in order to not have groups of 2 or groups of 3 coming into your restaurant. You always want groups of 4 to be coming at all times. Now, technically speaking, because of how these tables are, you cannot do that because, well, this table is blocking this table and that one is blocking the other one, etc. So to combat this, very, very simple. Place 1 chair here, another chair here, 1 here at the back, and 1 over here facing this table right here. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. That means that this table will now bring groups of 4. For this one over here, same concept. 1 here, 1 here, another one at the end, and then 1 right next to it. Now this one will also bring 4 customers. The reason I did this is because now you technically have the 1 empty pocket here where customers will travel to and then teleport to the table, as well as where staff members will travel to, so that way they can go ahead and put the food on the tables and not technically have to walk around. The next thing that we're missing here is just the filler items, which you basically want to go 3 outwards all the way around and you are good to go. This we are going to repeat for maybe like the next 3 floors or so. I don't want to do too many of these because I don't want to overwhelm my staff. So I feel like if we do 3 floors of this, give it a test with the first couple of bells. If it goes good, we close down the restaurant, buy some more bells, and add another floor. If you made it this far into this video and you are stressing out because you know for a fact that in my restaurant, I have a 14 by 14, don't worry about it. I will solve the problem in just a little bit for those of you that have a 16 by 16 that unfortunately had the bug, or I keep saying unfortunately, but the ones that fortunately got the bug where once you start off the game completely fresh, you're given the bigger game pass for free. Either way, let me go repeat this on the next couple of floors and we'll be back to do the test with the bells. All right, so we are now 100% done completing. I went all the way up to floor number 5. So technically speaking, there is 3 floors that have additional seating. We're back here on my first floor. If you notice, all of the staff members went ahead and stacked up in that little hole that I made in the middle. So that's perfect. Exactly what I had planned. But we definitely have to keep an eye on that because I may have to shift all of these tables over so that way customers aren't walking all the way up to here and then teleporting to their seat, because I definitely don't want that. But now, this is the moment of truth. We're going to see if we can fill up every single floor using the bells. So I'm going to start off with purchasing, let's see, I'll purchase 4 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do 4 for right now, and we're going to see how this goes. Now notice, I'm going to be trying to do this in real time as best as I can. So at the bottom left-hand side, you'll see that I am at 96,224. In theory, if I was to continue this, it would probably take me about an hour and a half if I was doing the intermediate one to finally get to 100,000. I take that back. It might actually take me more than an hour and a half. It could even take me 2 hours. So let's see exactly how much I can trim that down. I just went ahead, opened up my restaurant. Everything is more or less going as expected. But as you can see, most of my customers are going up to the other floors. First floor is still very much empty except for one group. But the very first order just came in, so cooks have now gone to the second floor. Waiters are in motion, and now everything is starting to make a little more sense here. Now, I'm going to be honest, aside from actually leaving this pocket for the actual staff members to kind of stack up in, I selfishly also left it so that I can place some bells here and see what type of progress we make here. So let's start off with bell number 1. What is going to happen here? That's already on a 5-hour cooldown. We have the first group of elves coming in, second one right behind it. Third group. Is there any more? No, just 3 groups. All right, we're going to go ahead and ring another one. So technically more elves should come in. There they are right there. All right, perfect. So now I'm going to head up to floor number 2 and we're going to put down another bell and another one. We're going to ring this one, wait a couple seconds, and then we will ring the other bell. Obviously, a lot of the customers are actually eating right now, so you're not going to see my customer count going up. But we should see it in just a couple minutes going up at least decently fast. Let's go ahead and ring another one, and I'm going to purchase some more now. We're going to go ahead and grab 5 more, 6 more, 7 more. Couldn't make a decision there. There we go. All 7 are now down. We gave it a couple seconds. Let's ring it again. And then I'm going to ring this second one now. And we're going to go to the first floor, take a quick look at how the first floor is looking, and then we're going to check all of the other floors. So that should be enough time. Let's go ahead and ring this one now. We're heading to floor number 1. It's looking a little rough. It's looking a little rough, but check out floor number 3. Floor number 3 is somewhat packed, only 1 empty. Floor number 4 is also as well looking decent. Only 1 empty. And floor number 5 is completely packed. So our floor number 1 is technically the one that's taking the biggest hit right now. It's somewhat empty here. Let's head back to 2 and continue ringing some bells. So we got 1 and we're going to do 2 right back to back. Let's see if that brings in consistent elves back to back here. We are getting back to back elves right now, and it technically just stopped. So let's go ring some more. See, a part of me feels like I shouldn't have added so many floors. This probably could have been done with just 1 floor. But again, I'm looking at this from the perspective of someone that only has a little bit of money to actually work with. Someone that has like 10, 15, 20 million can probably do this a pretty crazy way. But there we go. Right there, we went ahead and used every single one of our bells. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think this is actually really good. It's been give or take 5 minutes since we used the very first bell. I completed really popular challenge one time, which is 500 customers served, and we opened up the restaurant literally a couple of minutes. I want to say maybe like a minute or 2 before we actually rung the first bell. And already we got the second really popular challenge, and this one's about to be at 500. So we've almost served 1,000 customers in just about 5 or 6 minutes. A part of me really wants to switch over to my main account and do this on a huge scale to just see how crazy it must be. If let's say you were able to buy, I don't know, like 30 of these or maybe even 40. We just finished the really popular, so we just got ourselves another 500. We're at 96,700 customers served. I'm doing it, man. I'm getting some more of these. I feel like this is actually working. Obviously, it's nothing like super duper crazy, but crazy enough where it's making a big difference. Now, remember, the moment that I opened up my restaurant, I had 96,200 and some change customers served. I'm already at 96,800, which means at 97,200, we will have served exactly 1,000 customers since we opened. And again, if we use the bell over here, we can see that obviously these reset every single 5 hours. So it has officially been about 8 or 9 minutes since we technically rung the first bell. I'm continuing to buy more bells, man. All right, so technically we're now at 97,205, which I'm pretty sure I had somewhere like 220 something. And we are now 13 minutes since I rung the very first bell. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that that's bad. Now, again, like I mentioned before, I just spent about 4 mil, which is really not unrealistic for people that have been, at the very least, using the intermediate layout. And if I'm going to be honest, with how this performed, you may not even have to actually do all of these adjustments that I made. Although I will say that this is actually running very, very well. And there is literally no jamming going on, no anything. I mean, everything is performing extremely well. I would probably even go as far as to say that this might be just a tiny bit overkill. But again, for those of you right now that are playing that have racked up 10, 15, 20, I've had some people join my Discord and say that they have 200 million. What can they do? This might be the method for you. Buy yourself a bunch of bells, time them correctly. Obviously, don't just sit there and spam them. And actually, a little off topic, but I just remembered that the first bell that actually rang was on the first floor. I know some of you are probably going to rush to the comments and point that out, but I just checked. This one's at 4 hours, 44 minutes. And if we go to the first floor, this one is at 4 hours, 43 minutes, and it literally just hit that. So technically, they weren't that far off. They were actually pretty close. If I come over here, you'll notice they're about, give or take, about 20 or 30 seconds off. So still very good. Just wanted to point that out because I knew somebody in the comments was going to. As for the floors up here, everything is going very well. I mean, I genuinely believe that the only thing taking a big hit right now, which I kind of overdid it, is the first floor. This could definitely be reduced a lot because there is honestly just way too many tables here. At least for a multi-floor layout, there's way too many. All right, so I've been AFK for the last couple of minutes so that way it would finish up and I would be able to go ahead and get my huge, well, technically my second huge Chef Cat live on video again, and there it is right there. Huge Chef Cat unlocked, and really it's all thanks to that little method. I know it was only 1k, but that 1k really shaved off a lot of time. I would probably still have like another 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes left. And again, if you have a lot more money, this would be even more useful. I've been talking to everybody over my Discord, and it seems like for the most part currently right now everyone is earning about 300 to 500 customers every 10 minutes. So this would be double that. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about the individuals that have hundreds of millions and those of you that have billions of dollars in the game. You guys are obviously earning a lot more customers because you're able to. This is more for the free to play. And of course, for those of you that were ending up with the 16 by 16, you can go ahead and build this. It really shouldn't be any different than what I have it right now. If you really want to, you can go ahead and reduce it down to a 14 by 14. But it's really not a big deal. Either way, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and it helps you get that little bit of a stretch for the final huge Chef Cats that are available right now, because I believe there is a little less than half available. Make sure that you guys go ahead and subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video. That's gonna do it for this one. Like always, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.